This is the Chubba face of a pumpkin bell right here. That's what this is. And this will be the 75,000th video in a row specifically talking about this village because it's really cool. Welcome back aboard the spooky polite ship, everyone, and you know it, you love it. I really need to stop making videos of it. It's a relic of the past, my mom's village. But today I'm going to be talking about how this village managed to turn Halloween in May around and make it way better than it originally was. I think I've said this before on my channel, but Christmas in July started before Halloween in May, right after COVID. And the whole origin of Christmas in July, which I'm going to explain very lightly, is that it basically started as something to keep me busy during the summer, where I would just decorate a little bit in the room, put up a couple of my things. And my old tree in my room, as I explained in Christmas in July last year, used to be a lot smaller, so it was a lot less to expect. Milo is not down here, so it's going to be a lot of Belle in this video. But as I was saying, once I got the bigger tree to replace my old tree, Christmas in July became a lot bigger of a thing. And then I decided to do Halloween in May, which is where Halloween in May started. But there was an issue with Halloween in May. You see, Halloween in May was nowhere near as big at the start as it was supposed to be. I might have talked about it before on the channel, but the first Halloween in May I did was a huge flop. Obviously, I started before I started my channel, but the first Halloween in May was a huge flop. This is mostly because it came out of nowhere and I wasn't planning to do it until Halloween. So all of the stuff that I needed, I left out. The only thing that I didn't, that was out in the open that I could get to was this guy, the tree, and a singular basket of candy that it might still exist. Never mind, it doesn't, but you get the point. Basically, the first Halloween in May was a huge flop because nothing was left out. Neither was it for Christmas in July. We really were underprepared when we put the stuff away that year. In fact, it took me a while to find all my stuff, even when I decorated my room, which, if you watch the Christmas decorating process, you know happens early. But since we forgot to leave my stuff out that year, not only was Christmas in July a failure, Halloween in May was a failure, and so was me decorating my rooms early. Then last year was the second year of Halloween in May, and I realized my huge mistake that I made. And so, for the second year of Halloween in May, now that I was taking it up a notch, especially after I started using my channel, I realized I needed a big focus point for Halloween in May, since for Christmas in July, the big focus point was the tree. I remembered back to the first Christmas in July I did, and one of the things I did was I brought up one house from my mom's Rudolph Christmas Village and just put it on the corner. Now, how I did that, I don't even remember, because that box is usually one of the ones that's buried, like the box with her village. Way more buried than the Halloween village, because the Halloween decorations are in a very compact way, but there's not enough tubs back there because most of the decorations are Easter and small holidays that don't have tubs. So the obvious tubs the tubs in that corner are obviously for Halloween because all the other holidays are too small for tubs. Which made it really easy to tell it apart because we only have 2 tubs for Halloween, and one of them has to be this. And usually it's the one on top. But anyway, because of that, I was able to get to the Halloween village somewhat easily. I think my original plan was either to bring up the Reaper Motorcycle Company or one of my dad's village houses, but he probably turned that down, which makes sense because of how easily the Graveyard Party just got destroyed this year for no reason, but that's for another video when Halloween rolls around. But anyway, I realized that the tubs for this was the second easiest village thing to get to, since my dad's village houses are they're not in a tub like this is. They're in their own boxes and just stacked up, which you saw when I went down there for the decorating process video. So they're a lot easier to get to, but I guess the second easiest village to get to is hers, because my village is in that box. It's a pain in the butt to get out, and there's more houses than this. Hers have 3 main houses, which makes it perfect for the 3 levels of this. There are smaller things, but they were not as necessary to put up, so I just made sure I took out the 3 main houses and then put them on a different level of this. And every house has a couple figurines that go with it, except for this one, so I made sure to grab them too, the Witch and the Grim Reaper, and then the Headless Horseman. And all of that managed to fit on these 3 shelves last year, and that's when this started, last year. So this is actually the 3rd year, I believe, that's for. Third year of Halloween in May. So, and now we have these. Now that I'm doing these videos, it's a lot easier to tell what the decorations were like last year, and I have something to go off of when I decorate. Because up until this point, it had always been an issue trying to figure out what we did last year for the weeks period of Halloween in May and Christmas in July. So now that I have these videos, it's much easier to tell what's going on. But that's a brief explanation of why I chose this village specifically to put up and not the bigger village. So, thanks for watching. Do get seasick. Boo!